of this tech enthusiast, welcome back to another review on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Tales of a TMNT Volume 2, issue number 18, Blue Hole. So this issue is one which I don't know how to really describe. I feel like I've been saying a lot recently with these issues, and it's the only way I can probably describe them, just because in this one we're dealing with Donatello going to the Atlantic Ocean to find a submarine, and then he gets pulled into the Tribuna Triangle, something like that, and there's no real conclusion to the story in a way, but it's just one of those kind of stories that just happened, and yeah, so I don't know, it's gonna be an interesting one to really describe. Okay, so we do first start off with Donatello talking to Reddit Slider, and this bit here, I must admit, I did find a little bit weird, just because he's talking to the turtle, and it does say at one point where it says, I used to be Reddit Slider, and it just makes me question a lot of stuff about this, like, the whole universe, because I know that the turtles were originally based off Reddit Slider turtles, but for some reason never had the markings on their face. So it all sounded a bit weird, but now that he's just come out and just said that, like, yeah, we were those turtles, but yeah, they don't have the markings, it does seem really weird. And also the fact that he says, like, we were, well, in that case, what happened? It's just so weird. But yeah. But for the next scene, we do get to see the majority of the actual issue takes place in 2002, and we do get to see Donatello. He meets up with the Utrom from last issue, Gurgen, and now in this bit here, we do go to find out that the Utroms have been sending out like these devices, and submarines and stuff like that, to go out and research Earth and stuff like that, just in case of like climate change, stuff like that, and like all those kind of stuff, just so that they can be like prepared for the future. And with this one, for some reason that's got like lost in the Antarctic, it was going around searching for information about the weather and stuff like that. And I must admit, I did find it a bit interesting with some of the information that was given out in this bit here. Just because they was saying that basically, if the Earth was like 2 Fahrenheit higher, it would have like I don't know, something about a big flood or something like that. It was something along those sort of lines, so yeah, it's like one of those kind of things. But we do get to see Donatello, he wants to join, and that's when they do go over to the Atlantic, the Atlantic Ocean, and we don't actually find anything there. So that's when they decide to go into the Tribunal Triangle, and that's when things get really weird, just because of what they find over there. So the first thing they find over there is a ship from the 17th century, and with this, I'm not too sure how it's even still up and standing. And the reason which I do give it is a little bit stupid, I want to say. Now, the reason that they give, or that Donatello says, is basically that in this area, there's been no winds or anything like that, so it couldn't be damaged. However, that was like over a few centuries, and you know, even if there was no winds, it was, like the wood still rots and stuff like that. So I find it really hard to believe that a ship from the 17th century would still be standing in the 2000s, but either way, it somehow was. So the next morning, we do get to see the Utrom. He goes back to his ship and tries to figure out like more information about where his ship went. And that's when the ship that he's in, it decides to get pulled down into the ocean. And Donatello realizes this and actually goes down. And we do get to see the two going slowly down into the ocean in the little submarine thing. And we do get to see them getting pulled slowly into this wormhole, or they like to call it a black hole kind of thing. And basically it's taking loads of different ships and stuff like that into this black hole, and then I think destroying them. I mean, at one point we do get to see airplanes, ships and stuff like that, so I'm very confused at what actually is down there, and I'm quite surprised about how the gravitational pull is we just put everything straight down into it, which I can't explain it because I don't know what to say really about that either. But we do get to see the ship, he's being pulled, and Donatello and Gurgen have no other option but to leave the ship. So they do that, and the ship does explode, and that's when they swim up, and that's when they realise, oh no, we can't get out because of the black hole thing is going to pull us down, and we're going to die and stuff like that. But then that's when things get a little bit, not bad, but it's just oh, what a coincidence kind of things. We do get to see a giant turtle. It's there, it swims up, and it helps Donatello get to the surface, and that's how Donatello and Gurgen got out. So then after that we do get to see Donatello and Gurjin. They go over to an island to just rest and wait for the Ultrons to pick them up. And we do pick them up, and to their surprise, to find out that the island that I was on was not actually an island, but it was actually a massive turtle. And again, with this kind of thing, it's just like, I don't know what to really say about it. I was not really expecting it, but now seeing it's just like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's one of those kind of things. I think that's like the best way of describing that kind of thing. It's just like, it's one of those kind of things where, yeah, I don't know how else to really describe it other than it's just one of those kind of things. But yeah, overall, I feel like this issue is just, it was okay, I want to say. I mean, the artwork for this issue, I really did enjoy it. I really do enjoy this artist. He's done a few issues for this Tales of Timothy stuff, and each of them, I love the issues for the artwork alone, and this issue was no exception, as the artwork's still great and amazing, and yeah, I have no complaints about it whatsoever. I do feel like the black and white things does help it out quite a bit with the, you know, like the dark underground water type things. I do feel like that worked in its favour. I do feel like maybe some colour could have been used for like the beginning bit where they were on land and stuff like that, but other than that, I feel like the black and white bit worked really well in its favour, and the artwork was just, again, just so amazing. Now the story itself, I thought it was, I don't know, because I feel like it's a great one, but also just one of these ones that just feels like you can just skip it and you won't miss anything. Because on one hand, I do like it because they're exploring the world, and we do get to see more about the history and lore behind this universe. And I do like those kind of stories just because they are really developing the universe, and I do like enjoy those kind of stories. And I do think that what they did in this one was pretty interesting, just because we don't really get to see the turtles ever go off into the Atlantic Ocean or Tribunal Triangle too often, if ever, so I did find it like a bit refreshing to see them in like new environments, and I thought that was really great. But with that being said, it does feel like this whole issue was just pointless in a way, just because it does feel like this issue you could just skip and you won't have like any problem like not knowing anything that happened or like, didn't happen in this issue, just because there's no real bad guys in this issue, which I did find a little bit weird, just because it's turtles, they normally have at least one bad guy to fight throughout the issue, so I did find that a little bit, just like a little bit weird that there's no bad guys whatsoever. But I do know on the other hand, you could say that like, not every story needs a bad guy, which is true, but it's turtles, and you do expect something like that. And then also not to mention just how they was building the thing up, with like building the mystery up to be like something big and important, and yeah, all it turned out to be was just, oh, you know, there's a big wormhole in the ocean, it's pulling things down under, oh no, and that was literally it, and there wasn't really too much to it. I just feel like there's a lot they could have done with the story and the idea, and maybe introduce a lot more interesting stuff into this universe, just like new characters, new like devices and sciences and stuff like that. But yet they just didn't. They really stuck to like what was in our world, and then didn't really go beyond that, which I do feel was a bit disappointing, just because again I do feel like there's a lot of stuff they could have done. But overall, I feel like this was an okay issue if you do like some of the stuff in this issue, but overall it's a pretty skippable issue, and yeah, I definitely it's going to be an issue which I'll be going back to anytime soon. But yeah, that's game of today, guys. If it doesn't, please share. Let's just grab no stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.